What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I'm coming at you from the Sheets in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, I-80 exit 232. Those of you guys familiar with the area know there's a TA at that exit as well. And I'm going to tell you, this Sheets right here, there's only like one other truck here, and there's probably 30 some odd spaces. So if you're in the area, probably going to have somewhere to park. So what I want to talk about today is a quote that old Abe Lincoln said, which is going to be part of my video here. And the quote that I'm referring to is, "Lessons not learned in blood are soon forgotten." Now, blood is just a metaphor, you know. It could be money, it could be a painful experience, it could be whatever. But if you haven't paid dues for that mistake, then you will soon forget about it. So I messed up, guys. I messed up last night, so I wanted to talk to you guys about that. And we're going to kind of talk about, you know, I did a video yesterday and I spoke about being at a receiver, and there was a Wilson Logistics driver up there that was having a hard time getting into the spot or into the dock, and I was about to help him, and then I thought about something and I decided to let him thug that one out on his own. So let's talk about last night. So I go pick up a load. It's going to be a short little hopper. It's going to be like 300 miles. I'm picking up in, I think it was Dunkirk, New York, going to Pottsville, Pennsylvania, the Walmart down there. So I'm kind of working on my 14-hour clock. I mean, I did my splits and all that, but the most hours I'm going to get back is going to be 3 hours and 30 minutes. Now, I had a fuel stop in Lamar, Pennsylvania. So I'm looking at, you know, different routes and everything, and I'm saying, okay, here's where I want to stop because I know that's guaranteed parking. And I can fuel there. But if I take the easiest route, I will not be able to, I won't have enough time to make it there. I can gamble and take these state routes and have at least a chance to get there. Now, this was a topic that I just spoke with one of my drivers about, and I said, listen, when you're in Pennsylvania, Maryland, New York, some of these states like that, the Qualcomm is gonna want to route you through some of these state routes. Take a look at your GPS. If it's telling you to stay on highways or main interstates, follow that one and just eat the extra miles. I just had this conversation like less than 7 days ago. But what did my dumbass do? Took the state routes. That was the most miserable drive I've had in a while. Now, first of all, this load is extremely, it's like 43,000 pounds, but to balance out the weight, I had to get like in the 14th hole. And I'm driving through some of these little small towns where you got to make a right on Main Street and all this kind of stuff. And what I should have done after the first right turn was get in the middle lane, slide my tandems to the front. Listen, I'm in New York, Pennsylvania. There ain't no way stations open. And there's definitely no way stations open when I was going through. Just slide my tandems to the front. I did not do that. So this particular route, no truck stops, like for 200 miles. Or not 200 miles, like 150 miles. So I'm unfamiliar with the route. I'm unfamiliar with everything. So where am I going to park? I'm figuring I'm going to stumble on something. Didn't stumble on anything. Now, I couldn't stop and really take a look at what was going on because my clock was ticking down. It was my 14-hour clock. But finally, I just had to say, you know what, forget it. There's a cutout over here. Let me pull over. I realized that the Sapp Brothers in Clearfield, Pennsylvania was along that route and decided to go there. I got there with 6 minutes left on my clock. The worst thing about this drive is, and why I was telling my driver not to take this, I'm going through the Allegheny National Forest. You know, you have some 20-mile-an-hour truck speed limits through there. You got some crazy turns. Thank God it was not snowing. But you got that. My mileage was like 5.1 miles to the gallon. Had I just stayed on the regular highway, I would have been able to find parking. I wouldn't have to get down to 6 minutes left on my clock to park last night. So for you new guys out there, at least remember, in these states, New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and I'm sure there's other states where the Qualcomm is going to have you go down some of these state routes. Do not do it. I'm just telling you, do not do it. It was miserable. I was actually getting physically fucking mad about that drive last night. So learn from my mistakes. Let my blood be the learning lesson for you. Now, in regards to this driver yesterday that was at this receiver that was having, he probably spent about 40 minutes getting in this dock. On a scale from 1 to 10, the dock was probably 10 being the hardest, 1 being the easiest. It was probably about a 3, 3.5, maybe. Not as wide open as the Walmart, but plenty of room up front. He had his tandem slid to the rear, which really shouldn't have been a problem in this situation. But he was having a hard time. I was about to get out, and I thought about some experiences I had as a new driver. One, I can't remember the receiver. Actually, it was the shipper, where I had to back around this building, so I didn't have a clear view of the dock. But really, all I had to do was kind of come around the building. There was enough room for me to be off a little bit and pull up and straighten out. And then the next one was at a place called MDC or MDV Landover, one of the two. And I embarrassed myself so much there, probably my first or second month out, that I said, this will never happen to me again. So at that point, I decided I was going to be a student of backing. I was going to put in that work so I did not get embarrassed like that. Had I not got embarrassed like that, I probably would not have, my proficiency may not have got where it is right now. And that's what I was thinking about with this person. Maybe this is the time that they're trying to get in this dock. And if it was a dangerous situation, like, you know, the docks were close or there was a chance of him tearing some stuff up, I probably would have got out and helped. But I figured that sometimes it's those situations that make you realize that instead of just you have to become a student of the game. And that's what I decided that day. So I did that by watching, there's a YouTube channel. I had all my trainees watch it. It's called My Trucking Skills. Teaches you angles, things like that. And then for about the next month, if it was reasonable, I decided that if I was going to a truck stop, no pull-throughs at all if other spots were available. So I was determined to put in that work to save me from that embarrassment. So hopefully that helps that driver. But I'm telling you, that was horrible last night. One of the worst drives ever. You know, it was dark, it was raining, and like I said, thank God. Listen, if you're a trainee about to come out on your own, or maybe you just got out on your own and you trained during the summer, you do not want to be messing with these state routes in Pennsylvania in the wintertime when it's snow. And here's the thing. Like I said, lessons not learned in blood are soon forgotten. The last time I had to take one of these state routes was probably about a year ago. And I knew about it, but I forgot the pain that I went through. I forgot where I picked up and where I was going, but similar, it might have actually been the same route, which is where I said, okay, I'm never doing this again. But it was snowy and it was hard making it up these hills. So just learn from me. Do not do it. Take a look at your options. Stay on main highways. If you see something that's cutting between two interstates, and, you know, let's say, you know, take that extra step, go to like maps and see if it says any kind of national forest or park or anything. Do not do it. I'm telling you. Learn from me. I mean, I wasted a whole bunch of fuel, didn't get nowhere any faster, and it was just a miserable drive. So enough about that. This Sheetz is about 60. I wanted to get a little bit closer, but you know, there
5 hours and 38 minutes.
There used to be a pilot that was, and a washout
Drive to road
near this Walmart in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. That went out of business. There's still some parking. It's like 10-15 miles away from the receiver, but I gotta have some amenities, so I could have got a little bit closer, but hell, Sheetz is worth an extra 15-20 miles anyway. So I got hours coming back at let's just say regular time, 5:30 p.m. If I leave by 6, I'll get there by 7:15. My appointment's at 8. Good to go. Hopefully I'll have a pre-plan so I have somewhere to go. If I don't, still should be some decent parking out there at the Pine Grove non-existent pilot. So that's what's up with me. I am never doing that shit again. If there's any alternative routes, like, and had I not taken that state route, the mileage difference was 40 miles, 35, 40 miles. I was absolutely stupid to take that state route. And in the winter, well, and inclement weather, it's actually a very dangerous route, or at least more dangerous than just keeping your ass on a regular interstate. I beat that horse dead enough. I appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.